There's one in the middle. So in the middle, there, and there's one at the end. So thank you for that. We have changed the process from the automatic transponder voting systems of previous years, largely to save costs. So I hope that that works. Thank you. So we'll go first question.
Mr. Chairman, I have Craig Caulfield here for you.
Thank you. Craig?
Yes. Good morning, Chairman and the Board. Craig Caulfield's my name. I've come down from Queensland for the meeting. I'm here together with my wife, Moira. I'm a founder of a group called Bank Warriors, and I'm also an advisor to Bank Reform Now. Between us, we have members and followers of 15,000, and most of us have, some tragic cases and stories with financial institutions. I recognise that Perpetual across the board have done a fabulous job, and I can see that you've got many shareholders that are satisfied, many customers that are satisfied, and terrific staff. That doesn't mean there aren't those that fall through the cracks. And with ASX reporting and new governance requirements and in a post-Hayne environment, looking out for the interests of those people is really important. So I'm here today for two things. One is I'm here to support 4 of those cases with Perpetual that I believe haven't lived up to the standards of proper governance. And that is the Dunlop, the Fraser, the Lander and the Maslevskis cases.
Sorry, could you just go slower?
Yeah, sure.
The Dunlop?
Dunlop, so Weary Dunlop and his children.
That's to support Boyd, who's
yes.
behind you, I think.
Wood's here.
Yep.
Yes, and Boyd and Veronica Fraser.
Yep.
Yes, and Dr. Barry Lander and his family.
You said 4?
Yeah, and Rita Maslevskis.
Thank you.
So I think that there is a greater degree of engagement that is required in those cases. I'd be happy to talk to you separately and privately, and they're here and they can raise their cases if that's it.
Yeah.
So the second part is I've got some other more generic governance questions. There are 6 of them. The first of which is model litigant. You may have heard of these. I noticed the director, Mr. Hammond, is here, and Ms. Falzon, and I've been to the Suncorp AGM, and we're midway through a series. This is our 9th annual general meeting that we're at, and we like to work, cooperatively with boards and with management in terms of bringing in greater governance. So model litigant is simply, a set of fairness principles when dealing with, customers, cases, legal situations, right through the process. I'm sure many of you are aware, but for those that aren't, that's the case. Bank Warriors have directly dealt with the 4 major banks, and through the politicians and the House Economics Committee, we've put those questions to the CEOs, and all 4 CEOs from all 4 major banks have agreed to model litigant principles.
So what you're putting is these 6 you're saying you'd like us to consider them, is that what?
That's right.
Okay, well please list them.
Yeah, so that's the first one. In addition to accepting model litigant principles, is to publish them on your website so that it's transparent. The second item is to make a statement, perhaps in your constitution, to ban political donations. The third item is, and Mr. Hammond is an advisor and a supporter of the Banking and Finance Oath, is to recommend to your members. It's not a compulsory obligation, but again, in the post-Hayne environment, I think it's a good thing to do for any of your, particularly senior executives, to say that, look, I uphold the standards in the Banking and Finance Oath. The fourth item is in relation to auditing, which is a topic at the moment, is to separate the role of auditor from tax advice or consulting. Now, of course, I understand you have your sign-off sheets to say, yes, everything's complied with that. I think that there can be a greater standard where you could, for example, have your auditor and use a separate company for the different consulting and not have any mixtures there. That's not a legal requirement. It's just a higher standard of governance. I'd just like you to consider that.
Mm-hmm.
The fifth item is that under APRA's instructions, I'm assuming that you're one of the 36 financial institutions that had to supply a bear map. It's the Banking Executive and Accountability Regime. Would that be right?
No, we're
No.
not.
Okay.
But I'm happy to take that on.
Yeah,
You're
thank
saying you should, so.
Yeah, thank you. So perhaps you could voluntarily,
I'm listing the items. I'll come back to you on how we handle it.
Yeah, sure. So that's simply a disclosure map
Yeah,
of the
understand.
executives that are accountable. And the sixth item is, were you subject to an APRA prudential report? Was that a requirement?
We are to a limited in relation to our superannuation company, but that's a very small part of our total operations.
Yeah, thank you. Nonetheless, if that's a part of it, I would like to encourage you to publish that like National Australia Bank did and Commonwealth Bank of Australia and Westpac did. That would be fabulous if Perpetual were the first of the other financial institutions outside of the Big Four to voluntarily do that. Thanks very much for allowing me to put those to you.
Thank you. In relation to those 6 items, thank you. We will discuss them at the board level. I can say, we are a company that really is of high integrity,
Yes.
honesty, and approach to things. So, a lot of these things are formalising things that we no doubt already do. The banking and finance oath is an interesting one as to what the pros and cons of that are, given what's occurred. But that's these are issues that it's good of you to raise them. Absolutely, I'll take them on. We will discuss them, and we'll come back to you on that and engage with you in where we end up. So thank you for that. In relation to the other matters, I think as there are people here, it might be better to hear their. I think you're here to support them, so
As I said, yes.
Yeah, so I'd like to hear from them and put our position and then come back to it.
Sure. Thanks very much.
Right? No, thank you.